Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody could be with me on this Monday. Please make sure you subscribe to me on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, and on YouTube. I'm on Instagram at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod, and I'm also on TikTok at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod. Glad everybody could be with me. Hope everybody had a good New Year's. My New Year's is pretty good. Hope everybody's getting back into the flow of work. You're most likely at work right now if you're listening to this. And if you're not, that's good for you as well. Get that extended vacation. There's nothing wrong with that after the new year. First pod of 2026, man. I feel like it's going to be a another good year, another productive year. I hope that will be the same for you as well. And if not, please do whatever you can to make sure that it is productive because time is very valuable. Time is really all we have. Time is really all we have, man. So, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, man. So we had some news as regards to Drake and a couple other people and the stake, the gambling company, which I found shocking. It definitely took me for, surprise in terms of what is being alleged. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that as well. But yeah, Drake and a couple of other people this is a civil lawsuit as well. So, a federal RICO class action versus Stake and rapper Drake for promoting an illegal online gambling site under the guise of a fake sweepstakes. Drake is accused of using the platform to artificially inflate play counts of his music. So now the plaintiffs are LaShawna Ridley and Tiffany Hines. They're representing a whole bunch of people who basically feel like, they got played in terms of what was going on with Stake. Now, for what I know is Stake was just this, another one of these online gambling sites that Drake heavily promotes. Of course, they provide him, with all type of, how can I say, like funds and stuff like that to heavily promote the site, get wins, all that type of stuff. You get points, and if you get points, you could turn those points if you win into, funds that you could transfer, all type of shit. I'm not really into gambling. I don't do it, but that's what I known it to be. So, let me see. Let me go ahead and read this. Plaintiffs Shauna Riley and Tiffany Hines through their attorneys bring this action individually and on behalf of others similarly situated against defendant sweepstakes, stakes.us, Arby Graham, Aiden Ross, George Wynn. Plaintiffs make the following allegations upon information and belief. Allegations that the plaintiffs or their attorneys, which are based on personal knowledge. The consumer class action seeks to stop Stake, an illegal online gambling platform promoted by Drake, Ross, and Wynn, and used by Drake, Ross, and Wynn to obscure transmissions of money and furtherance of their ongoing music botting campaigns, from continuing to prey upon consumers to impose civil penalties on all defendants to deter future misconduct. Now, when I first seen this, and there's a couple of other key points that I'm gonna go ahead and actually pull up on my phone because I can't pull it up on my laptop right now. Drake, Ross, and Wynn have also made use of Stake to directly transfer money between and among themselves using Stake's tipping program, an unlimited and wholly unregulated money transmitter that appears to exist outside the oversight of any financial regulator. Through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music label executives, and distort recommendation algorithms. At the heart of the scheme, Drake, acting directly and through willingly and knowledgeable co-conspirators, have deployed automated bots in streaming farms to artificially inflate play counts of his music across major platforms such as Spotify. These inauthentic streams injected via interstate digital pathways were collaborated to mislead royalty and recommendation engines, manufacture popularity, distort playlists and charts, and divert both value and audience attention. In tandem, this manipulation has suppressed authentic artists and narrowed consumers' access to legitimate content by undermining the integrity of curated experiences. So it's definitely a little bit more than that. You can definitely go online and read. I'm not going to read the whole thing just for time's sake. But when I first seen this for what they're accusing him of doing, I just don't see it. That's just me being honest. I don't feel like Drake has to use stake in order to, inflate his streams. Drake was the most streamed rapper before he partnered with Stake. You know, now, do I believe botting is real? Of course. Botting is real, all that shit is real, but I don't believe it applies to certain rappers. Like if you came out around that 2009, 2010, and you rose to be like a rap superstar, a rap icon, I don't feel like, and you're still relevant today, I don't feel like today you need to use bots in order to heavily increase your numbers. Again, I'm not saying botting don't exist. Of course it exists, but to have to use stake in order to boost your streams and kind of trick the numbers and make it seem like you're bigger than you are, we're talking about Drake. He's, damn near on a 20-year run. I don't feel like, again, he needs to use stake in order to inflate his numbers. Now, again, if this comes back and it has some validity to it, of course, I have no problem getting on here like I do with anything else. But it's kind of like in comparison to the whole what he was accusing UMG and Kendrick of doing. Like they didn't have to use bots and all this other shit to inflate, not like us against him. So I'm applying the same logic. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I do know for Stake to, of course, fund Drake from what I seen like on his Instagram and all this other shit in terms of, getting winnings and all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't see how this is gonna fare, on the plaintiff side, honestly. I think it's gonna take a lot of digging. It's gonna take a lot of, research to, and in terms of what they're seeking also, like I just don't. One of the key points that I read was one example of publicly documented large value tip is $100,000. Tippet transfer between defendants Drake and Ross in 2023. Days before the filing of this complaint, defendant Drake gave defendant Ross a $220,000 card as a gift. These tips and many others like them cycled among defendants Drake, Ross, and Wynn, underwriting, botting, and paid engagement campaigns. Stakes platform design, which makes counterparties and camouflages withdrawals as generic transactions, stymie scrutiny, and obstruct tracing of illicit proceeds. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I really would just have to see how it all plays out. And another thing with this whole gambling thing, because I did remember that there was gonna be another company, amidst of that NBA gambling probe and all that other shit, another gambling company that was gonna be under, a new indictment. Now again, this is a class action suit, so they're just seeking money behind all this. Nobody's gonna go to jail behind this or none of that. But this whole gambling shit, just to bring it full circle, as especially within sports, is why I always say, man, y'all gotta be careful out here, man. Y'all really have to be careful out here in terms of what the fuck you getting involved in. They are cracking down on this shit, and honestly, I think it's more of a light on it now because of how in bed they are with sports leagues. NFL, I'm mainly speaking of NFL and NBA. Like when I was coming up as a kid watching sports, that shit was more of like a underworld type shit. Of course, it was still major, but it wasn't promoted heavily like it is now. And I feel like honestly, I think it's taken away from your viewer experience. I think a lot of people now are looking for the get rich quick scheme, and one of the biggest, roles of getting rich quick is, of course, gambling. And that's how you see a lot more casinos going up. You see a lot more, states making gambling legalized. Everything is a money play at the end of the day. The only reason why states who weren't legal prior are making it legal now is because, of course, they can eat off of it. But you really just got to be careful, man. People getting getting indicted for illegal poker games, spade, all this other shit, and it's just it's a really nasty thing that's going on. So you got to be mindful, man. Your money is valuable. You don't want to have it tricked off, and of course, your life tricked off because you involved in some illegal shit when it come to gambling. And I just think it was a huge mistake. And I said this before. I think it was a huge mistake in terms of, you know, just how large it has become. I think you got to really pull back the strings. There's certain games, there's certain plays don't help neither. Like I said, I don't feel like the NFL and NBA is rigged, but when you see certain games on the pro level, certain players, I isolate them because, of course, we've seen players get in trouble. Calvin Ridley, the guy from the Toronto Raptors. I can't think of his name right now. I think that's Michael Porter Jr.'s older brother, or younger brother. But a lot of them guys, man, greed. All of it goes back to greed at the end of the day. In terms of the music labels and how that's goes hand in hand, like I just don't see Stake having an interest, especially Drake, having to use their funds to inflate to artificially inflate his music streams. I just don't. Where's the benefit in that when you have an artist again who's been in the game for damn near 20 years now, had stardom way early in his career, probably 5-6 years in his career. So we talking about 2015, 16. So this is way before you even got any type of streaming was around, but streaming wasn't as big as I say streaming. He started kind of breaking streaming records like around that 2016, 2018 window, but prior he was already known as a legend, rap superstar, icon, all of that. So I feel like if you came out around that 08, 09, 2010 window, y'all know who was in that class at that time, and you rose to stardom before that 17, 18 window, I don't really feel like there was a need for you to do that. Botting is more so for up and coming rappers, probably rappers that came out within the last, honestly, I say within the last 5-10 years. But in conjunction with this, I don't know. I just don't see it. It's gonna take a lot of digging and searching to see how this is gonna impact this case in particular. And then also the payout. What is the payout gonna be like? Again, they have two people, again, Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines, as the faces, but exactly because I don't know how many people are, how many people they're representing in this. So the payout for this is gonna be interesting as well. But again, nothing is out the realm of possibility. So I don't want people to listen to this and think like, oh, I'm somewhat leaning towards one side. I'm just going on based on what I provide, and I'm also applying my logic like I would to anything else. To me, this shit just doesn't make any sense to benefit Drake in any way, shape, or form, and in terms of trying to trick his his image or how big he may be. He's just coming off a worldwide tour. Nobody with a worldwide tour, in my opinion, we need to do this. Like, you can't trick tours. You can't trick tours. You can't trick, sold out shows. Like, this is real people. And honestly, throughout his career, his numbers have remained consistent in terms of what he does first week, in terms of what he does in the sales. So I would need to see a trend of high up and down shit. I haven't seen that throughout his career. I haven't seen it. Pretty much every time he drops or he has something that comes out, those numbers pretty much stay consistent. So if there's a disparity in terms of their investigation and their streams, I'll be interested to see it. And again, like I do with anything else, I'll get back on here and I'll walk back what I said. But I just don't see that. I just don't see that applying to a rapper of his stature. And when I first seen it, I'm like, Stake, a gambling company, is funding Drake so he can artificially inflate his numbers for streaming. Like, nah, that's insane. But nonetheless, we all know as music continues to grow, continues to expand, they're always changing. I just seen some shit the other day where Billboard is gonna start or stop acknowledging, I think, YouTube numbers as far as the numbers, what they do in terms of, I have to get back on here next week and actually see that whole breakdown, because I don't want to speak incorrectly. But they're changing the rules as they go. That's essentially all I'm saying. Like, they're changing the rules as we go. Of course, we're way past the days of going to the store, buying a CD. Everything is at the palm of your hand now. But they're making up the rules as they go. What numbers do this? How much you can get paid off of that? I think we're really starting to trend towards more. The labels are really, they're still going to have a place. That's not what I'm saying here. The labels are still going to have a place because there are artists out there who do prefer to just get a check. They do prefer to just get that advance, run it up, pay it back, whatever the case may be, so the label can help to get more exposure. But ultimately, I feel like, and I say this with anything, as long as you're betting on yourself, you really don't need the label. Like, I remember I think it was Eric Sermon recently talking about how much you can make, how much you have to do in order, like you got to do a crazy amount of numbers streaming wise to just get paid $8,000. $8,000 to do X amount of streams, that's fucking insane. When I find that breakdown, I'm gonna get that breakdown and I'm gonna talk about it on here. But as we continue to grow and time continues to go on, the streaming numbers are just gonna continue to get manipulated. That's all. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna continue to get manipulated. It's gonna get tricked. You're gonna be thinking you're doing this or you're gonna get paid that when they're continuously gonna change it as it go because they ultimately have to get paid. It's all about the labels getting money at the end of the day. It's not really about the artist. It's never really been about the artist unless you turn out to be an artist to somewhat. You get so big to where the label's like, man, we'll just give you whatever you want. Drake is under that. Kendrick is under that. Nicki Minaj. The list goes on. But J. Cole as well. When you get so big to where, you don't have to, the label is just giving you money, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with a label partnership. But if you can run it up independent, and that's why it was major for Drake around 2020, 2021 to basically see how he was going to move. But he ended up, doing a 400M deal, and then he ended up doing another deal after that. But if he would have went independent, that would have shook up the music industry in a major way because we all know anytime Drake dropped, fans are running and listen to it. It doesn't take nothing for him to drop a link on his Instagram bio and people go run it, go buy it, do what it is that you do. But he chose to do a label partnership and it's benefited him in whatever way that he see fit. But as we continue to go on, the way I'm seeing these streaming numbers and how they go, what is the real benefit of signing to a label? Like, what is the real benefit if I'm not making no money for real? Especially when they put you in a deal where they recoup everything, they get a percentage of your tour money, your merch money, all this other shit. Like, nah. Like, if they could just be somewhat of just a distribution type situation, then okay, cool. But I think we'll see more and more as time go on with this whole stream, how the way the streaming rules is all getting played out. You're gonna see a lot more artists being independent, R&B, rap. You're gonna see more and more artists be independent, more direct artists to, the consumer, just direct, cut out the middleman. Because essentially, what am I doing this for? I have my Instagram, I have my TikTok, I have my Twitter. All my fans are right here. If I insert the middleman, which is the label, and you're getting a cut, man, I can essentially do it by myself. Especially being that we don't have CDs no more. See, now Nipsey Hussle, he was an outlier in that situation. If people remember, Nipsey, he took CDs and on two separate occasions. I think he had a 2013 when he took what was the name of it? Crenshaw. He sold it out the back, selling out the back of his truck for $100 a piece, made $100K. Then another situation where he was selling them for $1,000. He was direct to consumer. You get what I'm saying? So I think we're going to see that more so on the digital front where you don't have to really go out here, of course now go in your car and sell it, out your trunk. But we're going to see a lot more of that because with situations like this, how they in comparison, with all this gambling and tricking of the numbers and all of it is really going to push artists to really sit back and evaluate their whole situation. So again, I don't want to get too long and drawn out on it, but it definitely was interesting to see. Again, this is a class action lawsuit. You can go ahead and you can look it up. And, I'd just be interested to see how it plays out. But I don't feel like Drake was using stake funds to basically, artificially inflate his numbers. I just don't see it. So moving on, I also saw this. So Christian Combs and Justin Combs, the son of Sean Combs, aka Diddy, they're gonna be coming out with a doc, basically highlighting their perspective and everything in terms of how this whole trial played out, how this whole shit played out. I think it's through Zeus Network. Now, this is what I really have to say about this because I find this very funny for these two to be doing it. Now, of course, that's their father. So I'm not upset with them, defending their father. I'm not surprised neither. But what I will say is this. I feel like this is a bad play on their part. For number one, I don't feel like there's nothing that you can do to change the overall perspective of Diddy. People's minds are made up. You doing this doc is going to do what, essentially? And for people supporting this, because I've had conversations with certain people who feel like as if, everybody should have, if 50 want to do a dog, they should be able to do a dog. This one want to do a dog, this one should be. All right, okay, cool. But ultimately, the consensus is a lot of people's minds are made up in terms of Diddy, right? What's the end goal here? Because I feel like this is a real bad play. It's a real bad play. Honestly, I feel like it's gonna make him look even worse. He got the time. Nothing can change. You should really just let this ride out how it's supposed to ride out. I think you're just adding fuel to the fire. All this is a combat to what 50 Cent did. That's all. This all this really is. Now, if you're gonna do this doc, also, are you gonna cover everything? Are you gonna be completely unbiased, Justin and Christian Combs? Are you going to be completely unbiased? Because you're gonna have to cover everything. Yes, and sit in front of the camera and say, yes, my dad did this, my dad did that, my dad did this, my dad did that. Because it's going to be easy for you to defend him. That's the easy part. That's your dad. But really highlight the things that he also did. Are you going to be able to? Are you going to be able to sit in front of the camera and do that? So that's the only question I really have in terms of how this, that their doc and what their end goal is, because I just don't feel like it's going to benefit his image. Again, people's minds are made up. He's locked up. He's down. He's going to be down for at least 4 or 5 years. And when he comes home, I don't feel like there's not going to be any change of how people view him. And especially since the case didn't really do it. It was a Cassie video. And I said this before. People really didn't need the case to really be like, you know what? I'm done with him. When that Cassie video hit the timeline, that pretty much was it. The case was pretty much just, the icing on the cake it turned. Now, he wasn't found guilty of the full RICO, just the transportation of prostitutes and stuff like that. But, what was said during that case, it just pretty much just highlighted, pretty much who he is. A freaky, abusive nigga. But you're gonna have to speak to that as well. You're going to have to speak to that as well. Because granted, he wasn't found guilty of the other stuff within that trial. That's a fact. He wasn't. But everything else that he was involved in, you're going to have to speak to that. And doing a documentary behind it, no. I don't feel like it's going to benefit them in any case. In any case. Not him, people minds are made up. And when you're in a situation like that, this is one of those situations where you just got to let it die, bro. Just let it die. Let it die. When he comes home, y'all do what y'all do. But all that other stuff, you're trying to portray a certain image here. That's all you're trying to do. And again, people's minds are made up. There's nothing really you can do to change the minds of people and how they view him. It just is what it is. It is what it is. So again, I'm not surprised that they're doing it because, of course, they're their father. But are you really going to step back and really sit down and cover everything? Because that's what you're going to have to do if you're really going to do this doc. Now, if you're going to just do it in terms of just, highlighting how great of a person he is, then you could have kept that shit. You could have really kept it. And of course, I feel like it's a money play in it as well. They're partnering with Zeus Network. Not surprised at all that they was the ones that picked this up. But hey, man, I found it funny. Really, I really found it funny. I'm like, bro, what's the purpose of this? What are you really going to do to sway the people's minds of how they view that man? What are you going to do? There's nothing really you can do. Like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is, man. So I definitely found that interesting. I'm like, all right, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, there's nothing else you can do here to change the minds of the people, man. That's how it's gonna really just play out. So moving on. Complex dropped the list of the 25 best rap posse cuts and rap history. I came across this actually yesterday, and I immediately jumped to it because I definitely want to talk about this because I recently wanted to do my own list of this, so they kind of beat me to it. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna name off this list. I'm gonna start at 25. They have Drake featuring Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Forever. 24, Cool Breeze, Outkast, Goody Mob, Watch for the Hook. Number 23, DJ Khaled, T.I., Rick Ross, Akon, Fat Joe, Birdman, Lil Wayne, We Taking Over. 22, DITC, Day One. Number 21, T.I. featuring Jay-Z, Kanye, Lil Wayne, Swagger Like Us. Number 20, 3-6 Mafia, UGK, Project Pack, Sipping on Some Scissor. ASAP Rocky, Joey Badass, Action Bronson, Danny Brown, Kendrick Lamar, Big Crit, Yellow Wolf, One Train, coming in at 19. Number 18, Nas featuring AZ, Foxy Brown, Cormega, Affirmative Action. Number 17, Main Source featuring Nas, Joe Fatal, Live at the Barbecue. Number 16, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Ross, Nicki Minaj, Monster. Number 15, Master P, Silk the Shocker, Mia X, Mystical, Makeup Say Number 14, Snoop Dogg featuring Nate Dogg, Corrupt, Warren G, Ain't No Fun. Number 13, Obi Trice, Eminem, 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, We All Die One Day. Number 12, Kanye West, Big Sean, Pusha T, 2 Chainz, Mercy. That's kind of high. The DOC featuring NWA, Grand Finale. Coming in, this is the top 10, LL Cool J featuring Fat Joe, Foxy Brown, Keith Murray, Prodigy, I Shot Your Remix. Number 9, Mace featuring Black Rob, Locks, DMX, 24 Hours to Live. Definitely a right spot. Number 8, Helter Skelter featuring OGC, LaFleur Leffa. Number 7, Noriega featuring Big Pun, Cameron Styles, PJ the Kiss Band from TV. Definitely a big one. Number 6, BG featuring Big Thomas, Hot Boys, Bling Bling. Coming in at the top 5, Craig Mack, B.I.G., LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes, Flavor in Your Ear Remix. De La Soul featuring Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, Jungle Brothers. Queen Latifah, Buddy. Coming in at number 3, Puff Daddy, Jadakiss, Chic Luch, Lil Kim, All About the Benjamins. Number 2, A Tribe Called Quest featuring Leaders of New School Scenario. And coming in at number 1, Marley Marl featuring Master Ace, Craig G, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and Symphony. I definitely disagree with most of this list, especially the top 5. First of all, We Taking Over should definitely be higher. I got We Taking Over probably in the top 10. 24 Hours to Live, I definitely got in my top 10 as well. That came in at number 9. So Appalled got to be up there. So Appalled, 24 Hours to Live. I would have Blackout with DMX, Jay-Z up there as well. Of course, you got to have Money, Power, Respect. Money, Power, Respect is one of the best posse cuts. That shit is fire. You also got to have Reservoir Dogs. You got to have Reservoir Dogs at least top 5 rap posse cuts in rap history. That whole shit is the epitome of a posse cut, bro. Like, you got to have Reservoir Dogs. This shouldn't even make the top 25. So I definitely would have that up there as well. Some of the other ones, yeah, that's pretty much. I would have to think of a few more, but those are off the top. I would have Money, Power, Respect, 24 Hours to Live, Reservoir Dogs, So Appalled, and I would have, Flavor in Your Ear. I'll probably put Flavor in Your Ear in the top 5 as well. That was one of the major ones in rap history. Monster is cool, but I like So Appalled more than Monster. I like So Appalled more than Monster. That's my person, but I understand why. Of course, Nicki Minaj verse, how she got busy on that. That was one of the moments in rap history where everybody sat back and observed that. I wanted Stay Scheming probably would have to be up there. Stay Scheming would have to be at least in the top 25 just in terms of Drake's verse, what he did on that. Mercy is a dope one. But my personal faves, just off the top, it would have to be 24 Hours to Live, Money, Power, Respect, and Reservoir Dogs, man. Those just offer it. When you think of posse cuts, just a time. All About the Benjamins, of course. Got to put All About the Benjamins up there. But, man, those, We Taking Over definitely got to be higher. Because Lil Wayne alone, that's one of the best rap verses in history. And alone, the best rap verse of 2007. And it's funny because I remember when Fat Joe had a story on his podcast when he was talking about how when he thought he had the best verse on there. So him and Khaled went to go see Wayne. And Wayne had the big speakers, like he was on the stairs or whatever. He had the speakers on the wall or whatever, and they played the beat. And Wayne just was just like, bobbing his head for like a few minutes. And then he said the verse. It's a funny story. You get a chance to go check it out. But We Taking Over is definitely up there. You got to have that shit up there. Top Back Remix. Top Back Remix. How could I forget? You got to have Top Back Remix up there. You got to have Top Back Remix. Jeezy went crazy. BG went, even Big Country went crazy. Everybody went crazy on that shit. You got to have Top Back Remix as one of the best posse cuts in rap history. So, yeah, definitely. If I had to say the best, in my personal opinion, the best rap posse cuts in history, Top Back Remix. This is in no order. Top Back Remix, 24 Hours to Live, All About the Benjamins, Money, Power, Respect, and Reservoir Dogs. Those are the 5 that I would have to go with, my personal top 5. Those are the top 5 that I'll have to roll with, man. But for Money, Power, Respect not to be on here, for So Appalled not to be on here, yeah, definitely. And I would probably flip-flop some of these, but yeah, you gotta have those on there. And I'm so surprised Reservoir Dogs did not make the list. That's fucking insane. That's like really the epitome of that. Reservoir Dogs and Soul Paul not being on here is kind of crazy. Like, again, I understand Monster and all, what it did. Of course, Nicki verse, but man, I feel like Soul Paul is better. Soul Paul is, everybody went fucking insane on that. Insane. Oh, New God Flow. You gotta have New God Flow on there. Ghostface, Pusha T, Kanye. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them for real. It's a lot of them that you could choose from. But another underrated one was Cheat on You on Mace's first album. That was Mace, Jay-Z, Lil C's. Everybody went crazy. Cheat on You is a dope rap posse cut. I love that. That's an underrated posse cut. Wipe Me Down. Wipe Me Down. Boosie Webby, Lil Fox. Definitely. You gotta have them on there. I know I'm missing one. Walk It Out. Walk It Out remix with Jim Jones, Outkast, DJ Unk. That was a dope one. That was another dope one that you gotta put on there. They had a few that. Oh, and how can you International Players Anthem? International Players Anthem, bro. You gotta have that up there. You gotta have International Players Anthem as one of the best rap posse cuts. Andre out the gate, Pimp C, Big Boy. Everybody went fucking crazy. I've been listening to a lot of UGK lately. You gotta have that up there. I'm so surprised that did not make the fucking top 25. Yeah, Complex is tripping. Complex is tripping for that one. You gotta have International Players Anthem up there, man. That's probably, honestly, if not top 3 of that 2000 to 2009, that's probably gotta be top 3 rap posse cut. Like, I remember when that shit first dropped, it went fucking crazy. And that was one of the best ones of that year as well. Between We Taking Over and International Players Anthem, hell yeah, man. I can't even honestly remember the last. Damn, what was the last dope rap posse cut that we had? Now that I think about it, like, when was really the last one? Maybe y'all can help me figure that out. And probably after, when I'm done recording this, I'm gonna probably go do my own research. But the fact that I can't say it off the top of my, like, have we had really a dope one in the 2020s? I can't really think about it. Another underrated one, Looking for Trouble. Pusha T, Big Sean, Sci-Hi the Prince, like that whole, Good Music Fridays, that whole shit, Christian Dior Denim Flow, Looking for Trouble, gotta have that on there. Gotta have that on there. That's another, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, just, it's so many that you can choose from. It's hard to really make a list. Salute to them for doing the top 25, but they definitely left off some gems. There's no way you can have this list without Reservoir Dogs International Players Anthem. You can't do a list without those. My God, bro. Like, come on. But, again, I'm going to name the top 5. I'm going to name the top 5 again, just so y'all can get it. Matter of fact, I'll do the 10. LL Cool J, Fat Joe, Foxy Brown, Keith Murray, Prodigy, I Shot Your remix. Mace featuring Black Rob, The Lox, 24 Hours to Live. Number 8, Helter Skelter, LaFleur LaFly featuring OGC. Noriega featuring Big Pun, Cameron Salisbury, Banned from TV. Banned from TV is a legendary beat, so I'm not really mad at that one being on there as well. Bling Bling, of course, definitely had that on there, but I probably would move that down and put some others above that. Number 5, Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear remix, B.I.G., LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes. De La Soul featuring Q-Tip, $5 Jungle Brothers, Moni Love, Queen Latifah, Buddy. And number 3, All About the Benjamins, Puff Daddy, Jadakiss, Sheek Luch, B.I.G., A Tribe Called Quest, Leaders of the New School, Scenario. And number 1, Marley Marl featuring Master Ace, Craig G, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and Symphony. Yeah, those are the top 5. Yeah, I'm definitely moving a lot of those down. But those are the names that I named off the top of just the top of my dome. I'm gonna really have to sit down and really do it. But when I saw this list, I didn't want to, completely shit on it. It's not really a bad list, but they definitely left off some gems, bro. And maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a little bit more biased to the late 90s, definitely 2000s, because I always say 2000s is the best era in rap history, period. 2000, 2009, best era in rap. But again, salute the Complex for that list, man. But yeah, y'all definitely left off some. Y'all left off some gems, man. Y'all are bugging. Definitely fucking bugging, bro. So, moving on to some sports shit. We had the college football playoff semifinal round take off. And it definitely didn't go how I thought it would go. It really didn't. It really did not go how I thought it would be, man. And it pains me to get up here and really talk about a few of these wins because this shit was fucking insane. So first off, just to get the first game that tipped off, the first game happened on, when was the first game? The first game happened on New Year's Eve, actually, between Ohio State and Miami. And Miami won that game 24-14. And it was looking early for Ohio State. Of course, Miami, they scored the first touchdown, and then they had a pick 6 when their corner just completely jumped the screenplay. Great read. And I thought it was going to be a final of, 20 or 24-14 for Ohio State, but Miami ended up pulling it out. Miami's defense has been very good so far. And as a Florida State fan, it pains me to really give these motherfuckers credit, but a spade is a spade. Got to shout out Bain for doing what he's doing. They arguably have one of the best defenses remaining in the playoff along, who else? Let me see. Along with Indiana, they also, between Indiana and Miami, out of the remaining teams, their defense is as advertised. But nonetheless, got to get credit where credit is due. Miami is doing their thing defensive-wise. Their offense don't really got to do too much. They completely shut down Ohio State. Saying was like a deer in headlights. He couldn't do shit. He really couldn't do shit. Carson Beck, all Carson Beck really had to do was not fuck up the fucking game. 19-26 a TD, saying he had 2 interceptions. They couldn't really run the ball. I mean, it was just it was a masterclass by Miami's defense. It was a masterclass by Miami's defense. They couldn't do shit. Bo Jackson from Ohio State, he only had 55 yards. They had 45 yards rushing as a team. Julian Sayin took a lot of sacks. Some of them he could have, avoided. Jeremiah Smith, he did his best. He did what he could. 7 for 157, 1 TD. But Miami, they held it down. They rushed for a total of 153 yards. Mark Fletcher, he ran for 90 yards. Carson Beck, again, he didn't fuck the game up. He did not fuck the game up. 19-26, 138 yards, 1 TD. So, yeah, man, I got to salute Miami, man. I definitely didn't have them going this far. I did not have them going this far. I had them losing. I had them losing to Texas A&M in the first round, but these niggas did what they were supposed to do. They did what they were supposed to do. They will be moving on and facing Ole Miss. But, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, Ohio State. I had Ohio State and Alabama in the national championship, and I was completely wrong on that. Miami, they handled business. Again, they won 24-14, completely shut down Ohio State. They couldn't do shit. Their defense showed up. Bain was wrecking the game. Even if he wasn't getting sacks, they really couldn't block that nigga. They really could not block Bane. So again, as a Florida State fan, it pains me to say it, but a spade is a spade. Salute to Miami. I was wrong. Them niggas will be moving on, and they could definitely be playing for the championship on January 19th, man. They definitely can. So salute to Miami, man. Moving on, the next game, Oregon versus Texas Tech. Shutout. Not much to say, man. Oregon, they won 23-0, completely shut out Texas Tech. They couldn't do shit offensively. Texas Tech defense tried to do what they could. They had a couple of turnovers. They couldn't get the shit done. They couldn't do nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing, bro. They could not get busy at all. So Oregon will be moving on. Indiana completely put belt to ass to Alabama. 38-3. I did not see that coming. I definitely did not see that coming. They will be moving on to face Oregon. I think they're going to put belt to ass on Oregon as well. But them niggas won 38-3. My God. Shout out to Mendoza. Mendoza, he didn't. I mean, just looking at that game, bro. Just off the gates, it just seemed like they established dominance on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. They couldn't do shit. At halftime, it was 17-0, and I thought, okay, well, maybe Alabama could somewhat make it competitive, but they couldn't. It was at least 24-3 going into the fourth quarter, and I mean, they couldn't do shit. Alabama couldn't do shit. Ty Simpson, they knocked him out the game with an injury. He only threw for 67 yards. Mendoza, 192, 3 TDs. Kaylon Black, he had a great game running the ball. He rushed for 100 yards at TD. Hemby, he rushed for another 90. Both of them combined, they just got busy. They rushed for a total of 215 yards. So I got to shout out to them. Nothing really to speak to the Alabama side. I still think Kalen DeBoer deserves to keep his job. He should stick it out there, and they will be fine with that as well. So you will have Oregon versus Indiana, and then the highlight of the college games, in my opinion, was Ole Miss and Georgia. Now this one was a fucking shocker. I did not have Ole Miss beating Georgia. I did not have them winning this game at all. I thought Georgia defense was gonna handle business, but imaginary fucking players. They allow Ole Miss to have a total of like 473 yards. That's fucking crazy. Shout out to Trinidad Chambliss. He threw for 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kawan Lacey, he rushed for another 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving, they had 2 receivers over 100 yards. You had Wallace with 156 in the TD. Then you had Shrimlin. He had another 122 yards receiving. So shout out to Ole Miss, man. They didn't miss a beat since, old boy went to LSU. That's fucking crazy. Gunnar Stockton, 203 yards, a TD. He missed a lot of passes. In this game, man. But this game just speaks to Ole Miss's offense. Chambliss, MVP of the game, man. He was making plays on third down, big plays, scrambling, eluding defenders, but he also was throwing dots too. I was just amazed to see how easily they were able to move the ball up and down the field. Again, they had 473 total yards as a team. Georgia couldn't do shit. Georgia could not do shit with them niggas, man. So, hey, man, salute the Ole Miss. They will be facing Miami. I honestly don't know who's going to win that game. I honestly don't know. I think that is a toss-up. Miami is favored by 3.5. But Ole Miss, man, if they are able to dismantle Georgia's defense, they could very well dismantle Miami's defense. But Miami, they shut down Ohio State, one of the best offenses in the country. So I don't know, man. It's a toss-up. That is a toss-up game. I really don't know who's going to come out victorious in that. On the other side, Indiana versus Oregon, I got Indiana winning that game. They went into Oregon early this year and beat them. So now on a neutral site, yeah, I got Indiana winning that one. I definitely got Indiana winning that one, and it's gonna be. Listen, I think that one might get ugly as well. Like the way they just established dominance in terms of, what they did to Alabama. They're riding with so much confidence and momentum. It's insane. You got to shout out their coach. He's putting on a masterclass performance in terms of what he's doing with Indiana. And salute to Indiana. And also this speaks to, this whole, I remember when the NIL first came out, there was a lot of coaches, Saban and, Dabo Sweeney just to highlight, you know, talking about how the NIL, how it's going to impact college football. Cut the checks. A lot of these, the names of schools that you thought was going to be in the Final Four are not there. Oregon is there, of course, but Indiana, Ole Miss, Miami, they wasn't slated to be, in the Final Four at the start of this season, man. So I love the college football playoff format. I love the 12-team bracket, but it also speaks to this NIL and how, hey, man, these players, it's fair game now. It's fair game. It's no longer these teams are just lining up to go to Alabama, lining up to go to LSU. They're actually going to these other schools and competing. Like it's a fair level playing field now. But I said this years ago when it first came out. So the Final Four between Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami. Now I got Indiana in the championship. That goes without saying. I think Indiana will end up being the champion. But in terms of who they're going to face between Ole Miss and Miami, I just don't know. I just do not know. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But salute to the college football playoff this year, man. It's been very good so far. And also, all the teams who had a bye besides Indiana lost. That's another thing. Georgia lost. Ohio State lost. Texas Tech lost. Everybody else, Indiana was the only one to really have a bye and win. That's it. So, hey, man, salute to all those teams for moving on. So we'll definitely have to see how that plays out as well. Moving on into some NFL results. Bucs and Panthers played this weekend, and the Seahawks and the 49ers played. So, of course, me as a Panthers fan, I've been on here consistently saying that I am not supportive of the guy under center of my team. And again, I didn't even watch this game, and I'm not bullshitting. I am not bullshitting. I did not watch this game. I just saw the results, and I watched the highlights at the end of it. But I'm not surprised at what happened. I am not surprised at what happened in this game. The Buccaneers came out victorious in this game. They won this game 16-14. Panthers had a chance to win the game late, but it was only for like 20 seconds left because they couldn't get a third down stop on the previous play. When it was around the 2-minute warning. But it continues a theme. Up and down season. So now, of course, by the time this episode already has aired, we'll see who is the division champ. It's either going to be Tampa Bay or Carolina due to this three-way tie shit. So if Atlanta beats the Saints, the Panthers will, for whatever tiebreaker reason, doesn't make sense to me, will end up being in the playoffs and hosting a home playoff game. Do I feel like we deserve to be in the playoffs? No, I don't. And I feel like as a Panther fan, like even in the wins that we've had this year, because it's like you can literally look at our schedule, win, loss. They have really taken the joy away from me as a Panthers fan, and I can't explain this feeling. It's like when we win, it's kind of like, eh. It reminds me of if y'all remember watching The Last Dance doc when Reggie Miller hit the potential game winning 3. It was still some time left. So in real time, Reggie Miller hits this go-ahead 3, and they pan the camera to Larry Bird, and he still had this look on his face like, that's how I felt. This is how I feel when the Panthers win a game, like this season, because it inconsistent. Fucking consistent, bro. Like, more so on the offensive side. And I'm not blaming Dave Canales. I put most of the blame on Bryce Young. Xavier Legette, he's not it. I've spoken on him as well. He is just not it. He is not it, and he needs to go. He is not built to be an NFL wide receiver. Ted is as advertised. He is a clear number 1 receiver. Salute to him for eclipsing 1,000 yards as well. But this team, man, they have really stripped my joy in terms of when we win, having no excitement. Just no excitement. So even if we make the playoffs, it's like, all right. I contemplated in even going to the game. I might go to the game, but why waste my money, bro? Like, why? Why even waste my time and money going to this home playoff game? And, it's like these niggas will have to pull out a miracle for me to be like how I was, years ago. Like, I think it's because we just been down for so long. It's just like they really have stripped the excitement away from me, bro. All I really want is to be consistent in terms of being competitive. I don't need to be in the fucking Super Bowl every year. but I want to at least contend. It's not much for me to be in the conversation every year. That's all I want. Of course, I want a Super Bowl. We haven't won a Super Bowl yet. So, yes, I want to check that off the box. But in terms of this fucking team, man, and again, it's going to go back to Bryce Young. I still stand by it. I don't believe he's the future of this team. I do not believe it. He is way too inconsistent. But I would just love to get back to a place to where we are at least in contention fighting for a chip, bro. Again, I don't got to win a Super Bowl back-to-back years. But if I could be in the playoffs, NFC Championship game appearance, shit like that, bro, I'll be satisfied. And ultimately, let me get at least one ring so I can see what that feels like, bro. Let me just get one ring. But over these, it's been a tough 5-6 year stretch, bro. Again, the last time we won a playoff game was the NFC Championship game 2015. I was at that game. We haven't been in the playoffs since 2017. Against New Orleans, we lost that game. But the last time we won a playoff game was the 2015 NFC Championship game. I was there sitting 4 rows back. And I said in real time, bro, we got to win the Super Bowl because it's so hard to fucking get back. It's so hard to get back. And this team throughout this season has put me on a fucking roller coaster. Roller coaster. Whole fucking season. Roller coaster. So even if we, somehow, win this division due to this 3-way tiebreaker, hey, man, I guess it is what it is. I just have to see how it goes, bro, because I don't know with this team. You just don't fucking know. You do not know with this team, bro. You just do not fucking know, bro. So I'm not surprised that we lost this game. So moving on. She was fucking crazy, man. Oh, man. 49ers versus Seahawks, man. So the Seahawks, they wrapped up. They will be the 1 seed in the NFC. They handle business. They went into San Francisco and won 13-3. They handle business. Defense again is as advertised. Even last week when we lost to the Seahawks, I still felt like we could have won that game because of Sam Darnold. Like, bro, Sam Darnold. They doing this whole his wins. There's still motherfuckers out there who believe there's such thing as a win-loss stat for a QB. Need to stop doing that. But Sam Darnold didn't play that well. 20-26, 198, no TDs, no interceptions. So he just managed the game. Brock Purdy, he was terrible. 127 yards passing, 0 TDs, 1 interception. But you got to salute the Seahawks defense. Their defense is good. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 6 catches, 84 yards. This game just spoke to the Seattle's defense. These niggas are just like the Houston Texans defense. Like, everybody's on the same accord. They're all in sync. They know what they're doing. Nobody's really out of place. So you got to really salute the Seattle Seahawks. Their only problem is going to be in the playoffs. That motherfucker under center, Sam Darnold. Just like last year with the Vikings. Same shit. Playoffs come, belt to ass. The Rams whoop they ass. Sam Darnold couldn't do shit. Seeing ghosts. I still believe that's going to be the same case for him. They might get a win in the second round because, and on both sides, and it's really like a toss-up. They might get one win, but I still don't see the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl. I don't see it. I don't see it because I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I just don't. I believe in their defense. I like McDonald, the head coach, but as long as Sam Darnold is on the center, no, sir. You will not get me to believe in Sam Darnold, bro. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, bro. It's not. So as the standings stand right now, of course, outside of, the NFC South, you have as the 1 seed Seattle, Chicago at number 2, Philadelphia number 3, Tampa as of right now number 4, number 5 San Francisco, number 6 the Los Angeles Rams, and number 7 Green Bay Packers. So those are all set. All those are set except, of course, the NFC South. So now we just have to wait to see how this all going to play out. So you're going to have a potential first-round matchup between Green Bay and Chicago in the first round. That'd be crazy. Philadelphia versus the Rams, and then the NFC South winner versus the San Francisco 49ers. So that's going to be crazy. On the AFC side, they still have some seeding I think got to get played out. Denver right now is the 1, New England number 2, Jacksonville number 3, Pittsburgh number 4, Houston number 5, number 6 Los Angeles, and number 7 Buffalo. and Pittsburgh and Baltimore will be playing Sunday night. Of course, those results will be done as well by the time this episode airs. So I'll be interested to see how that comes out. That's a toss-up game as well because Lamar Jackson hasn't been as advertised. Pittsburgh, they've been, downhill lately. So I just don't know how this is gonna all play out. So I'll be interested to see. But yeah, man, that's the results. The Seahawks, they wrapped up the 1 seed. The Bucs as of right now, they're the NFC South champs. So a lot of Panthers fans, they're gonna be on rooting for the Falcons. The Falcons and Saints play. And so, yeah, but I don't know, man. These niggas just be taking my joy, man. Taking my fucking joy, bro. Stefon Diggs. Insane with this guy, man. Doesn't make sense. Stefon Diggs is charged with felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery charges stemming from an incident on Tuesday, December 2nd. Now, he hasn't been suspended. He still will be playing for the Patriots as of right now. Stefon Diggs' personal chef alleges she was slapped, choked, thrown onto her bed over a month-old pay dispute. The accuser claims Diggs entered her unlocked room on December 2nd. As they began discussing the money owed, the accuser claimed Diggs smacked her across the face. She then tried to push Diggs away. Court paperwork says Diggs tried to choke her out with his elbow around her neck. The report notes that the victim described the feeling the effect of strangulation, said she could have blacked out, and claimed she feared for her safety. The woman claimed Diggs demanded she sign an NDA after the assault as a condition of further payment. The complaint says Diggs' personal chef claims she later got a phone call from Diggs' girlfriend, reports. The messages stated something to the effect of, "You don't need to do all of this. It's not that big of a deal." Now, when I read this screenshot of the text message going back and forth, this is between the chef and Stefon Diggs. This is Diggs. Down having a texting match. You got it. Cool. The chef responds, "You will be paying me out for the season and money you said you would give me for my business. Wasting my fucking time being here because you got a fucking circus going on. I'm out your life." He said, "I won't be paying you shit. Fuck, I look like paying you and paying another chef. Is you high, bitch? Who the fuck gonna give you the money for the business? I don't gotta do a motherfucking thing. And you can get whoever you want. You got my address. Tell them to come take the money. The fuck you talking about? Show me I'm pussy." This nigga is insane, bro. This nigga is insane. You know what's so crazy about all this? If it's true that he demanded her sign an NDA, this just speaks to ego. All Stefon Diggs had to do was just cut the check. Yes, I will be pocket watching in this instance. You have the funds, bro. You have the funds. A lot of the time, just cutting the check to avoid a headache is necessary. A chef, when you already say you already got another one. So all you had to do was just cut the check and cut ties, my nigga. So now if it's true that, you wanted her to sign an NDA, you wasted time and money with that alone. When all you had to do was just in the moment, "Hey, bro, how much?" It's not like, I know a personal chef, go ahead and cut the check. A lot of the time, you do yourself a service by just go ahead and charging that one to the game. Just charging it to the game, bro, so you can avoid all this extra shit. You're going to make it back. He's due for incentives anyway. He's due for incentives. See, it's not like you're missing out on a significant amount of money. So in this instance, bro, all you had to do is fucking just cut the check. You hurting your team, potentially may hurt your team. Potentially maybe hurting your team if you happen to have to miss a game or so. Going into the playoffs is all stupid shit. It's all stupid shit, my nigga. It's all stupid shit. And I seen pictures of the chef, and allegedly there could be something else going on with that as well. But I'm not gonna jump out the window completely on that. But she looks like around what he likes and what he likes to deal with. But in terms of how this all could have just been settled with a check, a wire payment. Hey, bro, we don't got to do the back and forth, bro. How much I owe you? You say I owe you this. I say I owe you that. Hey, here you go. Just be gone. And that's it. You avoid all of this. You avoid all this legal shit because it's going to end up hurting you in the long run. Just stupid shit. Just stupid shit, bro. Like, I really don't got no words for it, bro. Like, it's just insane. This nigga just continues to be in headlines for the wrong reasons, bro. Especially going into the fucking playoffs. It all just don't make sense, bro. It all don't make sense. So that's really all I got to say about Stefon, because it's just, I hate to see niggas I hate to see niggas just get caught up in the dumbest of dumbest shit. A personal chef payment dispute, that easily could have been handled. Honestly, I probably would have paid more than what she was asking for, depending on what the ticket was. And I don't honestly believe it was that crazy, bro. Like personal chef, like bro, you paying for somebody to take time out their day to cook for you on a daily basis, weekly basis, bro. Whatever it is for you to be gone, especially when I already have another one. So if I already done got another one, just make the fucking one-time payment, dog. That's all you have to do. But ego, just based off the text messages, ego. So that's pretty much all I got for today's show, man. That's pretty much all I got for today's show. Again, thank you for tapping in with me, rocking with me. Again, this is the first episode of 2026. And if you are at work, hopefully you're having a good time at work. If you have any goals that you're pursuing, again, like I say every week, please continue to pursue those goals. Don't procrastinate, because time is all we have. And you look up, years have passed, and you'll be looking back like, damn, why I didn't do this. Start today. Start now. Start at this minute. Don't put it all till Monday. Don't put it all till next Wednesday. Don't put it all 2 weeks from now. Don't put it all for a month from now, because that month is going to turn into months. That month is going to turn into years, and then you're going to be shitting. Get your ass in the gym. Please continue to get your ass in the gym. Please get in the gym. The gym will do you wonders. It will establish a level of discipline. You will feel better about yourself, and your body will reward you. And ultimately, please be safe. So like I say every week, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time, because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out.